Hey guys, thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today we're going to be going over Nano. So if you guys like this content, please subscribe to the channel, turn your notifications on, and like the video. Now I know I've mainly been covering coins in the top 10 recently, primarily Bitcoin, some Ethereum, a little bit of XRP. We will be going through most of the top 10 coins, most likely. So I understand that many people don't necessarily like all the coins in the top 10. But the point, the point of this is not to necessarily say, promote one coin over another. It's just to look at what the data behind these coins is saying with respect to price and any type of trends or correlations that we can find, because each of them have pretty large communities. We won't obviously we will skip over Tether, but we'll look at the others in the top 10. So today we're going to be going over Nano. And I've made a video before that shows how you weight your cryptocurrency portfolio based on, say, market cap or the log of market cap, and I will link that in the at the end of the video. So if you guys haven't seen that, you can get an idea of what it's like. What does it cost someone to go all in on a single coin? And it kind of lays out how you want to diversify your portfolio, because you really don't know which coins are the ones that are going to take off. So I think it's important to have most of your portfolio in Bitcoin and Ethereum, but then it's certainly a good idea to invest in some other ones as well. And I only actually hold a few coins that are not in the top 10. Especially during the current market phase. I just think it's good to hold Bitcoin during these phases. But currently I do hold Nano, which is it's around rank 42 or so, and it's kind of one of my it's more of like a personal favorite, I guess. I want to see it succeed. And so I like to make videos about Nano and kind of give updates to them, because I really like the community as well. So one of the things we're going to look at today with Nano is what coins in the top 10 have outperformed Nano in the last month. Because in the past, I'd really been talking about Nano, and we were wanting to see it continue a strong run. But with Bitcoin's recent strong correction, there was no way Nano was going to continue in the short term that upwards momentum. Now, what if we were to compare it to the top 10? So you can see Nano Bitcoin is going up. So at the beginning of the month we were at 0.9 times 10 to the minus 4. Now we are at 1.15 or thereabouts times 10 to the minus 4. You can see with Nano Ethereum, we are on a good uptrend. Nano XRP uptrend. Nano Bitcoin Cash uptrend. Nano Litecoin up. Nano EOS up. Nano Binance Coin up. Nano BSV up. Nano Cardano up. Nano XLM up. So in the top 10, there's not a single coin in the last month that has outperformed Nano. And I think, not to say that other coins don't have good runs and whatnot, but I really do think that Nano does have a bright future ahead of it. Now, I will say it is much riskier of an asset than Bitcoin is, which is already a very risky asset. But some people have asked me, what coins do you like to have that are not Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I have to be very cautious as to what I say in general, just because I don't want to go promoting a ton of different coins. But Nano is one of those ones that I do hold, and I don't mind people knowing that I hold it, and I really want to see it succeed. I think what the team is doing is great, and I think the technology behind it is great as well. So I will be periodically posting these videos on Nano, just as a personal favorite, not in the top 10 that I do hold on to. So I would like to just jump back into the Nano USD chart, because we had talked about how similarities with Bitcoin. If you go to the Bitcoin USD chart and we pull up just the 50-day and the 200-day moving averages, we've definitely covered the idea of seeing a similar pattern with Bitcoin, like Nano. So you can see we had that, a bear market, golden cross, death cross, and we're waiting for the next golden cross for Nano. And it was after the second golden cross that Bitcoin then held the 20-week moving average, thus confirming the bull market. And actually the 20-week moving average is not on this graph, but if I just pull up the weekly and then put on the 20-week moving average, this green line, you can see it was held as support for the entire bull market. So with Nano currently, we broke through the 50-day moving average, which is the same thing Bitcoin did back in 2015. Sorry, my computer's going a little slow. But you can see that, once Bitcoin broke that 50-day moving average, it basically went off to the races, and we were hoping that Nano was going to do the same thing. And I still think we could be heading up in this direction, but as I've mentioned in many videos before, it all depends on what Bitcoin does. If Bitcoin's going down, Nano is going to have to just weather the storm, because Bitcoin does control the market right now. There's no denying it. It determines if the market is healthy, and right now is definitely dubious in terms of the health of the market. So if you just look at the market, I mean Bitcoin has in the last few months, it's dropped about 50% in the last, say, half year or so, a little less than half a year. So with Bitcoin, what we really need to see is we need to see a strong reversal. We need to get above the 20-week moving average and hold it as support. Now that could take some time. It's likely not going to happen tomorrow. It's likely not going to happen next week. It might be a long, drawn-out process. And if you've seen my videos on Bitcoin, each market cycle gets successively longer. So it could be that we still might see this upwards momentum. It just might take longer, and we know it's going to take longer than Bitcoin, because if you look at Bitcoin in 2015, it did not take this long to print both golden cross and both golden crosses and then the single death cross. It happened quicker than it is for Nano. So this is more or less where I stand on Nano. I still think it's a good. It's one of my long-term holds. I did buy a decent amount of it, between 70 and 80 cents. So I am excited for the future of Nano. But again, I'm not going to advocate people buy it. I'm just going to say it's one of the things that I hold, and we will see where it goes in the next few years. You can see recently it even hit another, it basically hit the same bottom for the umpteenth time, where it went back down to around 70 cents or so. And we've seen a very strong reversal on that. So this is one of the reasons why when I pull up these graphs, when you think that maybe Nano's not doing so well, if you look at how the market has performed as a whole, it's actually doing quite remarkable. Just looking at the top 10 coins, so Nano, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, EOS, BNB, BSV, Cardano, and XLM, it's outperformed all of them in the last month. Now, if you were just to look at the market cap, so if you were to look at the market cap of Nano and then plot that as a ratio of the market cap of the top 10, over the last month, you can see that, we've gone from around 4.5 times 10 to the minus 3, and we're nearing 6 times 10 to the minus 3. So we're seeing, we are seeing healthy growth with Nano in the short term. That has been what we've seen the last month, and I'm hoping that we can continue this pattern and weather the storm, because I can guarantee you that in the next decade, 99% of the coins you see on CoinMarketCap are most likely going to die. There's just not enough room in the market for all of them. The market is saturated with coins at the moment. I could go print an ERC20 right now if I wanted to. Not that it would be worth anything. But the point is you need to really think long and hard about which coins that you are going to accumulate now, because if you had putting say $500 or $1,000 into just a random low market cap coin back in 2015, it could have easily gone to zero, and it could have potentially made you a lot of money. Now is the time, assuming there is a bull run to come, now is the time to put your money on coins that you really, really believe in, and don't just chase random shills on Reddit. If you're not holding Nano already, certainly don't think you need to watch. After watching this video, don't think, oh, I need to go buy Nano because Ben said he has it. Do your own research, look into the coins yourself, and try to determine which ones that you think are worthwhile to hold. I mean, I certainly getting some Bitcoin and Ethereum I feel like is something everyone should do. Obviously, I know with XRP, there's a lot of ambivalent feelings over XRP, but it's still one of the easiest, in my opinion. I think it's one of the easiest coins to trade in the cryptocurrency market. Just with respect to Bitcoin, it has historically fallen or followed a fairly consistent trend as to when you want to buy and when you want to sell it. Obviously, Bitcoin Cash is really too new to say too much about it. Litecoin has been around a long time, and I don't think there's really much harm in having Litecoin, but I think the ROI on the potential ROI on Litecoin I don't think is going to be as great as it say would be for Ethereum. I think really Ethereum has a lot going for it right now, just with decentralized finance. You have all sorts of people printing ERC-20s on top of it that are building out their entire projects on the Ethereum blockchain. So I think really Ethereum is definitely a good one to hold. And certainly you could take a look at these others. I'm not going to really comment on them right now. But at least with Nano, it is one of my personal favorites, and I will be posting these videos periodically just to give that community and myself the opportunity to look at what the data is saying. Are we doing well right now, or are we having some trouble? And one of the things I would like to point out, a lot of people get so consumed with looking at how much a coin is down, and if we were to, not that people like to necessarily look into it, but just looking from the peak, Nano is down 98%. That is a very large percentage to be down. But I think this is a common misconception in cryptocurrency. It doesn't make sense to measure an asset's like how healthy it is or the value of that asset based on dumb money coming in at the top, because essentially you're trying to make a rational conclusion about something from an irrational time, and it really doesn't make a lot of sense to measure it by when your cousin's grandmother was buying Nano. It just doesn't really make a lot of sense. Alternatively, if we were to, let's remove this, and then if we were to take a measured move all the way down here up to where we currently are, we're looking at over 10,000% gain. And this is really the same way you want to measure Bitcoin. You don't measure Bitcoin from up here to the bottom of the bear market and say, oh well, Bitcoin is dead. Historically it has not been dead, despite the fact that people talk about it being dead all the time. Bitcoin saw itself, around an 84% correction in around a year, and it's even seen larger corrections than that if you go back even further. But if we scroll out here and just measure, say from down here up to where we currently are, it's around 4 to 5,000%. So the point is measuring a coin's potential just by looking at where it is from the all-time high is utterly ridiculous, especially for altcoins, when they're even more speculative than Bitcoin. So this is more or less what I want to say about Nano. I really do think it has a good future, and we'll all see together if that is the case. But again, I think now is really a good time to be really doing your research. If you wait until a couple years from now to decide what coins you want to invest in, it could be too late. You really want to get in on the ground floor, and we're basically we're either on the ground floor or we're getting close to the ground floor. Now, it's completely possible that Bitcoin, falls another few $1,000s. I'm not saying that's out of the realm of possibility, in which case Nano would have a hard time, maintaining this current level. But for now, this is what we have to work with. We don't really know for sure what Bitcoin is doing. I see people posting, oh, Bitcoin's going to 1,000 or Bitcoin's going to this or that. I've followed a lot of those people for years. I followed these, analysts that predict these Bitcoin movements, and most of their predictions are actually wrong in the short term, and a lot of times what they'll only highlight their past predictions that turned out right. So they might make, say, 10 predictions and then 9 of them are wrong, and then a year later they'll point out their one prediction that was right. So if you make enough predictions, of course, eventually you're likely to get lucky. Doesn't mean Bitcoin can't go to 1,000. It just means that there's no one really knows for sure where it's going to go. So we're going to continue to update these charts, and I hope you guys appreciate the Nano video. I know the community has definitely been asking for it in the comments. And it is one of the first coins I started analyzing in the last few weeks for these YouTube videos, because I for years I wanted to create my own content, and finally I just decided to dive in and do it, and Nano was one of the ones I started with, and I really appreciate their community and how supportive they are, and all that stuff. So if you guys like the video, please subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time. Bye.